In this video, I'm walking you through how to do hip lift. Hip lift is the hardest version on a tree of different hip lift exercises. So if you haven't done assisted hip lift position or assisted hip lift before, please have a look at my videos for assisted hip lift position and assisted hip lift before you try this one. This exercise has loads of different stuff going on, so there's a lot to think about, and I'd rather you master the easier versions of the exercise first so that you are able to complete this one better. So please do watch those two videos, try those exercises out for a few weeks until you really feel like you understand them, and then you can come to this hip lift and try the sort of full version of the exercise. Our palms are going to face up, and we are having our lower back gently flattened onto the floor. So we're not squeezing our abdominals here, but the lower back and the pelvis are sort of rocking back onto the floor. The rib cage stays grounded. Your toes, your ankles, your knees and your hips are in alignment with one another. So my feet are not pointing out to the side like that with the toes wider than the ankles. My knees aren't falling in, my knees aren't falling out. So if someone was looking down through up to my crotch, my toes, ankles, knees and hips would be in alignment with one another. And for most people, that's thinking about the feet, although they won't come into it too much as we get going. So the first thing that we're going to do, we are going to come back to this relaxed palms facing up, 45-degree angle at the shoulders kind of thing in a bit. But to start with, we are going to make sure that we're not compensating through our pelvis as we do the first bit of the exercise. So we're holding onto our iliac crests, which are the bony bits of our pelvis here at the front. And there is to be no shift through your pelvis as you lift your right ankle onto your left knee. So if you are unable to comfortably do this movement, only coming from the hip. So can you see here how I'm not doing this? I'm not shifting my pelvis to the left-hand side, nor am I tilting, wait, what's the other version that people do? I'll demonstrate this on the other leg. So one version of the pelvic compensation is that as the right leg moves, the pelvis shifts to the side. We don't want that. The other version is as the hip lifts, we tilt away with the side that we're trying to open. So can you see here how my left hand is like further away from my body than my right hand? I'm hiking my right pelvis there. I'm not keeping the pelvis balanced. So your pelvis stays flat on the floor and the pelvic crests stay parallel facing up to the ceiling. There is no rotation through the pelvis, hiking or twisting through the pelvis, okay? We're keeping the pelvis still. And if you can't do that, keep working on your assisted hip lift and your assisted hip lift position, because they're going to help you be able to do this in the future. So my left foot kind of powers into the ground slightly because it's just going to help me not move my pelvis, but I'm also keeping my hands on it, so I'm aware of that. I twist from my right hip. There is no movement in my left pelvis, and what that does is it actually puts the work into my right hip. Whilst I'm here, I'm flexing my foot on that right-hand side, trying to keep my second and third toes in alignment with my kneecap. So I'm in neutral dorsiflexion of the foot. I'm not rotating the ankle. So can you see here how I'm pushing the lateral edge of my foot away from me and I'm pulling my big toe towards me? That is supination of the foot, and I see this quite a lot in this exercise. Supination is not the same as dorsiflexion. So I'm making sure that I pull back through the lateral outside edge of my foot, and I'm trying to keep the middle of my toes, second and third toes, tracking in the same direction as the kneecap. The foot is not twisting in a different direction. So really focus on that foot. Once again, if you're finding that hard, stay with the easier versions of this exercise. Do not try the full hip lift. So my pelvis is grounded. My upper body is completely relaxed. My palms are facing up. My foot is super active in dorsiflexion. I'm not twisting my ankle. And if I can't do this without twisting my ankle, I'm staying here, which is basically the assisted hip lift position. We're about to move on a bit from here. I'm going to squeeze my right glute, so my right bottom muscle. I'm going to squeeze a contraction there, and I'm going to hold that contraction in my right bottom muscle, and I'm feeling how that helps me pull my right knee away from my body. So the glute contracts to pull the right knee away and helps open up that right hip. My pelvis is still balanced. I haven't shifted it to the side, nor am I tilting one side up higher to my waist than the other. And then keeping my abdominals completely relaxed, which is going to be the hardest bit about this exercise for lots of people, I'm going to draw my left foot up off the floor like this. So my left knee is in alignment with my left hip. My left ankle is in alignment with my left knee, both from the front, looking down at my leg, and from the side. So you can see there that my left ankle's a bit high. So I'm lowering that left ankle and I'm flexing that left foot back again. Once again, I'm not allowing the foot to go out to the side. I'm keeping the middle of the toes tracking in alignment with the ankles, knee, and hip. So this left leg has to stay in alignment from the hip. The knee is not falling out, nor is it falling in. So left toes to hip, all in alignment. The pelvis is still balanced on the floor. I'm squeezing my right glute to open up the right hip, and then flexing my right foot back, keeping my abdominals relaxed. So lots of you will find that your abdominals want to do this exercise because your hip flexors don't work sort of well enough, I guess. Setting a timer now. We're going to do a minute on this side, and then we're going to swap. Palms, arms, shoulders, abdominals, lower back, upper body is just completely relaxed here. Steady, calm, diaphragmatic breathing in and out of the nose, sending the breath deep into the belly. You're not doing this exercise if you're reliant on your hand holding your leg up. Your hands are relaxing. Your upper body should not be involved in you trying to wake up your hips or open your hips. Let's let the hips be hips and do their job. Left toe, ankle, knee and hip all in alignment with one another. I'm squeezing my right glute to open up the right knee, keeping my right foot and my left foot flexed, and I'm keeping the pelvis balanced. There's no twisting through the pelvis in this exercise. We've got just over 10 seconds left. Notice how I'm able to keep talking to you normally because I'm breathing normally and I'm not overly tense in my body. So if you've lost the breath, don't do this exercise. Cool, that's a minute that side. So we're going to come back down and we're going to do it all again on the other side, making a mental note of if we feel things differently from side to side. So ribcage grounded, lower back is grounded, but the abdominals are completely relaxed. Toes, ankles, knees and hips in alignment from the front looking down towards the crotch. Holding onto our pelvic crests so that we don't shift them to the side or shift one side further away from us than the other. The left leg, so push down into the floor with your right foot slightly as you open up that left hip, no shifting through the pelvis. We're doing exactly the same thing. So we're going to flex our left foot back, keeping the middle of the second and the third toes pointing back in the same direction as the kneecap. The foot is not twisting into supination. So you're not rolling your foot outwards so that the lateral edge of the foot moves away from you and you pull your big toe up. The lateral edge of the foot pulls back so that the middle of the toes are in alignment with the knees. Pelvis still stays grounded. Squeezing left glute, so holding that contraction through the left glute to help peel the left hip away. Palms are facing up. Upper body completely relaxed, so you're not tensing your jaw or holding your breath or squeezing your abdominals here as you use the right leg to lift up. Flexing that right foot, right ankle stays in alignment with the right knee, both from the front and from the side. Toe, ankle, knee and hip on the right side in alignment. We're squeezing that left glute, pushing it away, flexing left foot, keeping it tracking with the kneecap, making sure that the pelvis hasn't tilted to the side or isn't tilting away, and we're keeping our belly relaxed, upper body relaxed, little bit of a double chin, and we're just holding this. I have set the timer, by the way. Got 45 seconds left. Keep breathing in and out of your nose, sending the breath into your belly, expanding the belly up and down. We're not holding your breath or your jaw. The upper body is not doing anything here. This is all about hip strength. And if you really feel like your upper body is locking on, your upper body compensates for a lack of function at your hips. So if you've got neck pain or shoulder pain, maybe it's because your hips are not strong enough. 15 seconds left. Squeeze that left glute. I keep forgetting to squeeze my left glute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is hip lift.